Let Monty cook. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack that like button, subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the road to 16K and hopefully 20K by the end of the year. I can't do it without you guys, so definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free, ladies and gentlemen. But
Jonah will be out there today. Yep. And everybody else, we'll see how the week goes.
let's dive into it. We got a lot of news this morning, obviously a report to dive into, but one thing I really want to talk about here real quick is Jonathan Gannon ended up coming out this morning and saying Jonah Williams might be back here sooner rather than later. He just said that Jonah Williams is going to start practicing. Now, I don't know if that means a 21-day window is going to open up. That's most likely what that means, right? I'm not coming out here saying, oh, we're going to see him here in week 9. We're not saying that. But what we're seeing and what we're saying is that it's trending in the right direction, that we're going to be getting our right tackle back. So, hallelujah. He actually started off the season pretty darn good, but got hurt really, really early in week 1 versus the Buffalo Bills. So, massive news for the Cardinals. Our offensive line is starting to get healthier and healthier. Obviously, there's still a big concern with the right guard position, with obviously Will Hernandez being hurt for the entirety of the year. But hearing the fact that Jonah is trending in the right direction to potentially come back, maybe week 9, maybe 10, maybe 11, I don't know. But it just sounds wonderful to hear that we got our staple points, right? Our bookends at the end with Paris Johnson Jr. at the left, and then Jonah Williams potentially coming back here sooner rather than later. So super, super excited about that. Now, let's dive into why all you guys clicked on this video about, right? There was a report that came out here from, I believe it was The Athletic, if I'm not mistaken, but I originally saw this here from, shout out to my guy Donnie here from Sports Illustrated. He ended up putting a tweet out there earlier this morning, and it was labeled this: the Cardinals are reportedly calling teams ahead of the November 5th trade deadline for pass rushing help. Now, I want to be very, very clear here, ladies and gentlemen. I think if you're asking the normal Cardinal fan, right, or normal people from the outside looking in, they would say that this is exactly what the Cardinals should be doing, right? Like, this is no surprise that the Cardinals are doing it, but hearing the confirmation is absolutely amazing, right? It's absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and kind of, not going to read the whole article, but I wanted to kind of, shine some light on exactly how this is phrased and what is being said, right? So let's start here. So the Arizona Cardinals have less than a week away to make a deal happen ahead of the league's November 5th trade deadline next Tuesday. According to The Athletic, they're indeed making phone calls, right? So, like I said, I only want to focus on that because according to The Athletic, which is obviously a big media company that covers all sports, they might have some insider, or they might have some inside information that the Cardinals front office, including Monty Ossenfort, is indeed making phone calls. Now, we did actually hear Monty Ossenfort, I believe it was 2-3 weeks ago, on 98.7 Arizona Sports, obviously, talking about the trade deadline, and this is a venue that he said that, the Cardinals are willing to explore, right? He didn't say he was going to do it, didn't say he wasn't going to do it, but, a venture or a venue that the Cardinals were going to explore in terms of team building, right? Making your team and your roster better through the trade deadline. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say the Cardinals are going to get 7 players, 6 players. No, the Cardinals could potentially just get 1, and I think a lot of Cardinal fans will be happy. But we're all clamoring and jumping on our soapbox because the Cardinals right now are 4-4 in the top of their division right now. And to hear that reports are coming out here, at least per, The Athletic, and specifically, I think the main guy that's being referenced here, if I can remember correctly here, looking at this, I believe it's Mike Jones, no, not the rapper. I believe it's a writer for The Athletic that came out and said this, that indeed, per The Athletic, the Cardinals are making phone calls to be active in this trade deadline. Now, where the Cardinals can go, where can they go? Pass rush is the only real thing right now that I can think of needs to be solidified, right? Now, I've said this before on multiple different pieces of content, whether it's your video format or your live stream format. A lot of Cardinal fans, for some reason, have their idea of, oh, we're not a piece away, right? We're not a piece away from the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. If you can get a staple point from the edge position that's going to be either the X factor or a guy that's going to be consistent for you, right? Then you can also think about 2025, because most likely that guy that you bring in will be on a multi-year deal. So then you have the guy we traded for. You got BJ Ojulari coming back in 2025, and hopefully Darius Robinson can, make that step in next year. And I know we're going to see a little bit of a sample size this year. Well, not a little bit. It's actually 9+ games, but we're going to see a sample size of what Darius Robinson could do. And hey, maybe we can still draft somebody, in the 2025 NFL draft to shore up that defensive line. And we're bringing the guys back in that we signed this last year with Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols. This defensive line is getting a facelift, absolute facelift. Just because you give up some sort of compensation, that doesn't mean it completely ruins the rebuild. No, it doesn't. At all. It doesn't. And this right here, this report comes out from The Athletic saying that the Cardinals are indeed making phone calls. That's a step in the right direction, right? All I wanted Monty to do was pick up the phone. Like, with what we've seen so far in the trade deadline, we're seeing a lot of trades being done with like 4th round picks, 5th round picks, a 6th round pick we've seen, right? We've seen a lot of crazy things happen. We've seen a pick swap, a 5th and a 6th round pick swap. Like, it's crazy how low this compensation is getting sent out to obviously acquire a specific need for a team. The Cardinals are in need of a pass rusher, right? Now, I get it. A lot of people are going to say Max Crosby. A lot of people are going to say Myles Garrett, right? And that's fine. Dreaming is free, right? All I care about is that we're bringing in somebody that's not a part of somebody's practice squad, right? That's not sitting on a couch right now.
Halfway to the midseason point, how would you assess your overall front seven play, and more specifically the pass rush?
Yeah, I think we got to continue to find ways to affect the passer. There's been some glimpses in some games where we've done it pretty consistently, and there's been some games that we haven't been so consistent. So I think all 11 guys, rushing coverage, cover and rush. My wife knows that phrase, She knows it to be true, though, So everyone's got to be coordinated, and this is a big-time challenge for us.
We need somebody that's going to give us some sort of consistency. Now, you all know who I want, right? In terms of financially makes sense, and a kid that's young and has got a lot of potential, you know who I want, right? Azeez Ojulari. But if we don't go that route, anything can help out this Arizona Cardinal defense. Like, seriously. So I love this. This absolutely makes me super, super excited about, obviously, the trade deadline and seeing if the Cardinals make a move. Because if we're making calls, that we're at least we're interested, right? Now, it does take 2 to tango. It takes another front office to agree to terms with our front office. And I think that's just a step in the right direction. And that's what we're all looking for here at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here? Who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to go after? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.